There's this beautiful map in the inside. I'm a sucker for maps and I want to read quality over quantity. Staying in the sequels I should have read but haven't yet, but I did like the first book era. Hello lovely bookworms, I'm Esmay from Paradise of Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to a new video. I think it has been quite a long time since I've done a proper sit down video like this, and I thought I would pick that back up again in 2024. And what better way to start that off by one, saying Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you're all doing well. 2023 was a good year for me. I've had a lot of fun. A lot of things have changed. As you can see, I'm in my shared apartment with my boyfriend, so I'm really happy about that. I have one bookshelf here, so most of my books are at my parents' place, or at least quite a few of them. At some point there will be enough room to have multiple bookcases, but for now I'm just really happy to be living together. 2023 is a good year and I'm really happy with where I am right now. That said, I thought I would kick this year off with a huge video, and that is 24 books for 2024. I do not have the illusion I will read all of these. If I read, let's say, a third of these, I would be impressed. Even if it's a couple, I'd be fine with that. But I know that I'm probably not going to read all of them. I've done this, I think, in 2022, but not in 2023. So I thought I would kick this back up again, and let's just get into them. I won't be talking about the books too much. A little bit of a reasoning behind why I want to read it, and that's about it. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. These are in no particular order. I just grabbed them out of my shelves and then, you know, just start showing you. So the first one is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is, I think it's a dark fantasy book. This was actually a Christmas gift from Charlotte for Christmas, I think about a year or two ago. This is I think a Persephone's and Hades retelling, but in sort of the modern world. I have heard good things about this. I've personally never picked it up, so this is book number one. So book number two is an Illumicrate book, and that is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I actually got this in when I still had a monthly Illumicrate subscription. I've also since gotten the sequel to this, but I have yet to read it. It is huge, but I think it is a desert vibe book, so I'm really planning to read that during DESERTATHON this year. So that is book number two. If you're wondering, yes, I'm planning to do DESERTATHON again this year. I also want to start planning for GREEKGODATHON because I would love to do that again. Maybe not as big as a couple years ago. I didn't do GREEKGODATHON this year, but I did it the year before. I want to do it again this year, so we'll see. Next up is a book that I should have long since read, and that is The Heart Forger by Rin Tupeko. This is a book, this is one of my friends' favorite books. This is Cheyenne's favorite book or favorite series. I read the first one, which is The Bone Witch, but I have yet to read the sequel to this, and that is why I put that on this list. This is one of the books that I do really kind of need to read this year, but we'll see if it works out. Another one of those books that I really have to continue because I read the first book, never read the second one, is this one, which is Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the sequel to the Darker Shades series, Darker Shade of Magic. That's the word, right? Yeah, Dark Shade of Magic, and I really enjoyed the first book, so there's no reason why I didn't continue this. I just maybe wasn't really in the mood, so I'm putting myself to reading this year. Staying in the sequels I should have read but haven't yet, but I did like the first book era. I have Broken Web by Laurie M. Lee. I think this is a duology. Really enjoyed the first one. It's been a long time, so I definitely have to read a recap of the first book, or I might have to reread the first book. We'll see about that. Yeah, really enjoyed the first one, so this is on there to read this year. Okay, so a first book in I think duology that I should have read years ago because I bought it for DESERTATHON a couple years ago is Empire of Sand by Tash Suri. This is it's definitely a desert vibe mystery book. Fantasy book. Calm down, Esmay, you don't need to shout. And I don't know why I haven't read this yet. Maybe because it's one of those paperbacks with tiny fonts, so I should probably just read it via Scribd. Maybe there's even an audio. But yeah, I think I would really enjoy this. I've heard great things about this, so I should definitely just pick it up. Okay, so next up is a book that is quite intimidating to me, and that is probably the reason why I've not yet picked it up earlier on, and that is From Blanash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I actually have quite a few copies in this series, so I think I have the first to the third, something along those lines. They're all huge, by the way, if you're wondering. They're all huge, and it is a floppy paperback, so I think I would enjoy this. I think this is also first person, so there's a lot of things in here that I think I will enjoy. I've heard good things about this, some questionable things about the sequels, but I'm just quite excited to see what this is all about, and I do like a dense book that is well written, so I'm just really excited to get into it. Moving on is I think it's a standalone, and that is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. I think this is, yeah, 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. I know that I think it is one of Ashley's favorites. It's one of my friends here, and I think she loved it. Was it a gift as well? There's no note. I don't remember. Maybe I bought it myself, but I thought it was a gift from Ashley. In any case, I am excited to read this. No clue what it truly is about. So for this next book, I'm hoping that Polarthon is coming around this year, so I can finally pick this up, and that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I've read some of Catherine Arden's work, which I think Small Spaces I've read, maybe another book, and I have started this at some point. I just never finished it, and I don't know why I didn't. I have these beautiful, I think they're Fairy Loot editions, and I think, yeah, this is just absolutely stunning, and I don't know, I think I would really like this. It's one of those really polary books that I do really enjoy during the wintry months, so I just really think that I should pick this up this year. Staying on theme, I also really want to read Through the White Wood by Jessica Leek during Polarthon. This is a standalone book, I think, and I did really like the Beyond the Darkened Shore by the same author, so I think I got this. I think it was a gift at some point. There's a lot of books that I think were gifts, and I don't completely remember where I got them from, but really want to read that this year. I think there will be a theme on here, that there's quite a few very big books on here, so I don't completely know what I'm doing to myself. But the next one is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. Another Tasha Suri book. I have quite a few of her books, but I've yet to read any of them, I think. This is the Illumicrate edition that I got. I also have the sequel. I've never read it, and I really have to. Oh, there's even a book plate in here that I should definitely stick in the book. It's a desert vibe book, so that's why I gravitated towards it and why I bought the sequel, because I think that I will love this. So yeah, really should read this and should get on with it. I am quite literally surrounded by books, and I think I need to make a move on because I still have quite a big pile to continue. But yeah, these actually get more difficult each year because there's an extra book on top, so next year it's going to be 25 instead of 24, but you know, it's fine. The next one is The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. Sorry. The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, and that is by Shannon Chakraborty. As you know, The City of Brass by Shannon Chakraborty is my all-time favorite trilogy. I will not stop raving about that. I think it's by far my favorite. So considering she actually put out a new book, I had to get it. I had to have it. I had to read it. I think it's a series as well, and I am just beyond excited. There's this beautiful map in the inside. I'm a sucker for maps. I will love this. I know that, and I can't wait to dive into it, but her books are always quite a bit impressive, so that's probably why I haven't read it yet. Okay, we're going back to the sequels, and I have Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. I really liked These Violent Delights, which was the first book in the series. I think it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling in Shanghai, and I'm just beyond excited. I loved the first one, so I don't know why I never picked up the second one. I think they even have an audio for this, so that's probably the way that I will read it in this year. But oh, I cannot wait to dive into this one. I have to read more. It's just, I hope these videos will actually get me really back into my reading game. I'm not unhappy with my reading year because I read 103 books last year. I'm gonna put my goal this year on 50. I did the same thing last year and managed to get there around the half-year mark, so I figured I could probably do 100. So I'm not unhappy with my reading year, but I want to read less books and more bigger books, if that makes sense. So I have quite a few chunkers in my shelves, and I want to read quality over quantity. And I feel like that is definitely something that has shifted for me in these last couple of months and the last couple of years, where I wanted to read as much as soon as possible, and now I really want to focus on things that I really enjoy. So I hope I can do that this year. I'm ashamed to say that this book has been on this list for multiple years, I think, and I have yet to read it, and that is the final book in the Furyborn series called Lightbringer. I made a review of Furyborn and of Kingsbane, which should still be up on this channel. I've yet to read the third one, and like I said, a theme is chunkers. This is a chunker. I'm excited. I really have to read a recap of what happened in the first and second book, and then I'm just gonna dive in and read this year, hopefully. So another book that has been in my shelves for a couple years, actually this was a gift from Femke, I think, and that is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. This is something that I've been meaning to read for a long time. I don't have to say too much about this. I just should, you know, take the plunge and read it. I also want to knock out some of my Illumicrate books, and that's why this one is on here, and that's The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd-Jones. I once got an ARC for this. That's the washer. I once got an ARC for this and didn't read it. Then I got it in a subscription box, still didn't read it, so I really should read it. Let me close the door. Another book I got as a gift, and this was a gift from Naomi, is Crown of Feathers. I have all three of them, and I really should read them. I haven't yet. I think this is also sort of a deserty kind of book. And just look at that cover. That already screams Esmay, so I really have to read that this year. Then I have the first book in a duology, and that is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I actually got the sequel for Christmas, which is really good, and I personally I just think I really need to get into it. So yeah, putting that on the list. And then next up I have Jade City by Fondaly. I have all three of these books, and I just really have to get into it. I've heard great things about this. I'm excited. That's about it. We are continuing on with the sequels, and this is Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. I've been trying to get my way through the Fallen Kingdoms series for years now. I have all of them, I think there's all six of them. They're literally right here. I've read the first two, haven't continued, so this is going on my list for this year, and this is sort of a running challenge for me. Okay, so another one of those books that I have yet to read, and that is The King of Scars duology by Leigh Bardugo. We all know that I love the Leigh Bardugo world, especially Six of Crows. I really enjoyed those. I just really need to read this, considering it's about Nikolai. I've heard some mixed things, so I'm not completely sure what I would feel about this. Nonetheless, I think it's beautiful, and I just have to read it, so it's going on the list. So a trilogy that I've owned for a couple of years and gotten for my birthday is sort of the next book. This is the first one, and that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I don't know anything about this book other than the fact that I have all three of the hardcovers, and I should just take the plunge, read them, and hopefully I will love them. So we should be on the second to last book, and this is my last sequel on the list, and that is A Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. I read the first one a little bit ago, which is Six Crimson Cranes, and I loved it. It is so much fun, and I think this one is actually going to be for most part about like a dragon, and I don't know. I mean, it's literally called The Dragon's Promise, Esmay. Of course it's going to be about a dragon, but yeah, I love these covers as well. I think Elizabeth Lim is one of my favorite authors. I've read quite a few of her books, and yeah, I love it. So I really need to read this sequel. I think it's a duology as well, so if I do that, I would have finished another series. And then last but certainly not least is a book that I actually picked up here, and that is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I actually bought this here at my local bookstore. They have quite a good selection of English books, and I don't know that much about it other than the fact that this isn't that big, and I just do really want to read it. I think this cover style, so this sort of vibrant, no people on the cover, illustrative style is really something I like. I don't know, I really enjoy that. I don't like that the book is white though. Would have preferred blue, but I don't know, it just, the cover drew me in. I'm honest, the cover drew me in, and that I think is the 24th book. So those are all 24 of the books that I would like to read. I will say that I am not going to hold them all up because quite literally it's impossible. I hope you've enjoyed this first video of me sitting back down. My TBR and my sort of Christmas book haul is also coming, so yeah, just stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to dive back into filming videos and just reading more and focusing less on TikTok, because that is a hellhole. If you fall into the TikTok hole, you're not crawling back out. So trying to reach back to the top with these books and go back into that. I also have made my own reading journal this year, so I want to see if I can make a video of that, a separate one maybe, maybe do a yeah, I don't know, maybe something along those lines, and sort of fill that out every month at the end of the month. I don't know. So yeah, I hope that you are enjoying me being back, and I hope this year is going to be great for all of you. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, press that little bell icon so I can post notifications every single time that we post, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!